Captain Grant Coppin with Texas Fishing Tips, and this is your weekly fishing report.
Alright guys, it is springtime and the trout are on the move. Right here in the ICW on the west drop off, we've been catching good trout on topwaters. They're coming in through the Packery. This is one of the first places they hit. A lot of trout actually come in through Corpus Christi Bay, but this is kind of like a bottleneck. And what I do is I get on the trolling motor and just start moving down that west drop, and I'll take a topwater and just launch it into the flat, even though it is deep enough that I can get into that flat. Really, they're kind of holding right around the edge because that's where that little bit shallower water is, and the bait will hold and run right along this edge. So I'll launch the topwater into the flat, but usually my blow-ups come right along that edge. The two colors that I've been using, anything with orange on the underbelly or the pink skitterwalk's been working very well. Over here in this little crash channel, we've been catching good numbers of whiting, sand trout, black drum, occasional flounder and redfish. When that wind's cranking's when it's best, because this current's just ripping through here. Again, the tide's up, so what I've been doing is trying to find that dirty water and get up on the flat in the dirty water and throw cut bait, and that's where I've been finding all my redfish. So anywhere in here, throw cut menhaden up against the island. Once you get into the flat, try not to turn your engine on, because that really spooks the fish. Get upwind of the island, throw some cut menhaden. And if you're looking for cut menhaden, Clem's has got some fresh. But if you want to cast net it yourself, go into the Packery and cast net you some fresh menhaden. Come up in here, just upwind, tight to the islands. Those reds will be moving around this edge, and you'll catch some good redfish with cut bait up in here. Same thing over here, just like in the boat hole. You can get on the back sides of these islands. Look for the dirty water. There's going to be a lot of water pushing through these, especially on the windier days. Cut menhaden's working best. But if you want, you can throw cut mullet in here or cut skipjack. But really just kind of sit in here, and if you don't have anything in about 20-30 minutes, put the trolling motor down and move through. Again, the one thing that's just going to kill it is having that big engine on up in this shallow water. That really just nukes the flat and scares everything out of here. So if you're going to come up in here, use the trolling motor all the way down this edge. Don't turn on your big engine. This is just like in Aransas Pass on the terminals. These little islands just act as little places where the redfish can stop off around these corners and throw that cut bait out in that dirtier water, and you'll catch plenty of reds. Alright, over here along Penascal, all the way up on this bank with those high tides and those back lakes full of water and full of bait, we've been catching both trout and redfish on this shoreline. Those trout are ready to spawn. Some of them are already spawning, but up here shallow, throw those topwaters. You're going to get some insane blow-ups. Come up in here with your trolling motor. You can idle up to the drop-off, but once you get to the drop-off, use the trolling motor to get up in here and just kind of go down the shoreline and make long casts. If the grass is too bad, like in some of these areas, the grass gets real thick, or it'll be draining out of a back lake, or when it's real windy, and I'll take that topwater and just put J hooks on it instead of trebles, because it'll just get grassed up and won't work right. But throw topwaters through here. On the really, really windy days, I'll put the topwater down and I'll throw some cut bait in here for the reds. Even caught some really nice trout. But remember, you got to let those real big ones go and only keep them up to about 23 inches. That's the rule right now. So 3 fish from 17 to 23 is the limit. And let those big girls go and catch some nice good redfish. I've even caught a few black drum in here just kind of messing around. But this whole shoreline is good right now. This little back leg right here, I know I put it in my report whenever the tides are high, but this is one of those back legs that can hold bait and hold fish. There's a lot of fish way back in the back here. One of the things you got to be careful about fishing this, if you come into the mouth and you see 2 or 3 boats already in this lake, don't try to come back in here, because you're either going to make somebody else mad or just kind of hurt everybody's fishing. So if there's 2, maybe 3 boats in here, that's about all this back lake can hold. 3 boats is really the max. But all you got to do is come right on down that shoreline, because most likely it's going to be blowing that southeast wind, and it's going to be blowing some fish right down this shoreline. They're going to be coming up. You can just work this grass edge all the way down, throwing that top water, and really working those fish.
I'm Captain Grant Coppin. Thanks for watching.